The grand hall of the High Council extended wide and imposing, sealed off by a shimmering lattice of light that cast reflections onto the polished floor below. Alien representatives occupied their designated seats, each placed atop a platform elevated above the ground, symbols of their species' majesty and the influence of Chancellor Toran. The council's tall leader surveyed the gathering with a calm superiority, narrowing his 4 eyes as the human delegation entered. Alexander Gray stepped forward with purposeful determination, his face obscured by a traditional diplomatic mask. He shot a quick glance at the towering alien before lowering his gaze just enough to acknowledge the moment, a delicate balance between power and humility. Gray could feel the weight of every representative's gaze on him. For them, Earth's presence was not to be taken lightly. Formality was non-negotiable, association was unavoidable, and surrender seemed inevitable. Humans. Toran's voice roared, his words translated into clipped mechanical English. You have arrived ready to talk about peace. The galaxy awaits your choice. Alexander's fingers moved within the sleeve of his uniform, grazing the hidden communicator. He remained composed, offering a slight grin. We are always ready to talk about the future, Chancellor, he replied, his voice neutral yet pleasant. Oh, Toran's jaws moved, which Gray interpreted as resembling a smug expression. Let us begin, the Chancellor continued. Let us agree on this premise. Earth, as a supporting actor in our vast galaxy, understands the futility of resistance. I admire your resilience, but power cannot be replaced by stubbornness. The Council is united. You have no unity. If you decline our offer, you will not survive. Gray slowly nodded, as if contemplating Toran's words, feeling the anticipation rise in the room. The others believed Earth had finally come to kneel, but beneath Gray's composed exterior, a storm was brewing. Outside the Council chambers, just beyond the sensor range, Earth's secret fleets were already in motion. The time had come. His heart quickened, but he maintained his calm, replaying the precise moment their operation had commenced in his mind. The Council was unaware. Your strength is formidable, he spoke again, prompting Toran to lean forward, satisfied with what he assumed was an admiral's concession. Then perhaps we can begin. Talks will proceed. Your troops will stand down, and Earth will yield to the Council. In return, we will spare you the worst of what could happen. The danger was unspoken but clear. All eyes were on Gray as he let out a slow breath, looking directly at Toran. Chancellor, I must request a moment of stillness. A moment to reflect on the weight of the choice before us. Toran waved dismissively. Admiral, indulge yourself. After all, wisdom lies in reflection. Gray's lips tightened into a fine line as he subtly nodded to his second-in-command, who stood at the edge of the platform. No further words were necessary. The plan was already in motion. Through the void, Earth's hidden fleet began its advance. A chime echoed through the hall, and Toran turned toward one of his advisors as a hologram flickered to life before them. His expression tensed, the calmness slipping as he addressed Gray. There appears to be a disturbance in our outer defense grid. Gray did not flinch, his voice smooth. Disturbance? He questioned, the tone that of a man already privy to the unfolding events but choosing not to reveal this knowledge. A holographic screen appeared before the Council, red blips pulsing along the edges of Council space. Human ships. Toran spat, insect-like mucus flicking from his mandibles. What is the meaning of this? You dare. Gray's expression remained unchanged as he tapped his sleeve, sending one silent signal to the fleet. Chancellor, please understand, we did not come to bargain. As the words left his lips, alarms erupted, red lights flashing through the hall as Earth's covert fleet decloaked. Explosions ripped through the outer fortifications of the Council. The Council's star map ignited with chaos as soldiers ran in panic, and the gathering unraveled. Toran rose to his full height, towering over the humans. Do you realize what you've done, you fool? Gray stood firm. This is the end of your war, Chancellor. For a moment, only the flashing lights filled the silence. Then, on cue, the mighty celestial beacon, the Council's flagship, exploded into a fiery sphere on the holographic display. Devastation rippled through the chamber, but Gray did not look away. You get behind illusions, Chancellor. We came to shatter them. Another command through his communicator led Earth's fleet to unleash its fury on the unsuspecting Council, bringing an abrupt end to the fragile illusion of peace. Alarms reverberated through the vast chamber, while holograms filled the air with fire, destruction, and despair. Torren screamed, barking orders at overwhelmed aides, and in the center, Admiral Alexander Gray stood serene amidst the storm. The High Council had become victims of their own arrogance. He locked eyes with his deputy, Lieutenant Ilara, who met his gaze. With a silent nod, the assault began. Torren's voice roared, his shadow looming large as he slammed his claws on the control panel. "Peace to you," Gray finally said, turning to make eye contact with the alien leader. "Not submission," he added softly. "Justice." The words cut sharper than any blade. Torren recoiled, as if struck, and his mandibles twitched. "Your defiance will be your species' doom," he hissed, but Gray did not blink. "We didn't come to beg, Chancellor. We came to win." Torren slammed his claws again as the holograms focused on the core systems now under siege. Flashes of battle illuminated the void. Earth's fleet tore through Council defenses with surgical precision. There would be no counterattack. Lieutenant Ilara stepped forward. "The Celestial Beacon is down, sir. The rest of the fleet is advancing on Council Central Command. Resistance is minimal." "Minimal?" Gray echoed, a word unthinkable just hours ago. The Council, once rulers of the galaxy, was brought to their knees by the species they once mocked. Ilara's voice trembled with urgency. "Your empire is crumbling, Chancellor. You underestimated us." Torren's eyes narrowed, the weight of his mistake becoming evident. "This is a grave error," he muttered. "Do you truly believe you can hold the galaxy?" Gray remained silent, allowing the Chancellor to search for a threat, a final move. But it was too late. A tremor shook the floor, the structure rocking from an explosion. One alien representative, a small amphibian from the Null delegation, turned to Torren with wide eyes brimming with terror. "What are we going to do?" he croaked. "We're losing everything." Torren didn't answer. On the hologram, red dots swarmed. His mind raced for a solution, but none emerged. "We will fight," he finally said, though the fire had dimmed from his voice. "We will regroup, call for reinforcements." "There are no reinforcements," Ilara cut in. "Your fleets are trapped. Communications are cut. This battle is over." The heavy silence that followed suffocated the once mighty leaders, now mere relics of their former glory. Gray stepped forward, his eyes never leaving Torren. "We tried to avoid this, Chancellor. You chose domination. Now you'll face the consequences." Torren's mandibles twitched, but he remained silent, staring as his empire burned. Gray's communicator buzzed again as Ilara reported, "Planetary shields are weakening. We've begun targeting the Council's primary command." Gray nodded. "Proceed." The endgame had arrived, and the onslaught was relentless, precise, and final. Torren turned from the hologram, hollow eyes revealing his defeat. "You think you've won," he whispered. "But this won't bring you peace." "Perhaps not," Gray replied. "But it will bring us justice." With one final order, Earth's fleet surged forward, carving through what remained of the once mighty empire, reduced to silence and flame. The room trembled with the final blast as Gray stood composed, the burden of battle slowly lifting. The galaxy had changed forever, and Earth would not needle. Lieutenant Ilara approached closer, her steps careful and methodical. "All Council systems, Admiral, have been officially neutralized. Resistance has stopped. It's over." Gray didn't look at her. His gaze remained fixed on the distant stars. His voice was barely above a murmur, but the depth of the query was unexpectedly profound. "It's one thing to end a combat, Lieutenant," he said quietly. "It's another." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. "When a war is over." Ilara analyzed the change in his tone, recognizing it was not reluctance or uncertainty, but the heavy burden of command and the realization that the easy part was done. "We've prevailed, sir. Earth is where the Council fell. That's no small accomplishment." His breath left his body, misting against the cold surface of the observation window. The High Council wasn't just a military force, it was an institution. And when an institution collapses, vacuums do not remain empty for long. Ilara shifted uneasily, her confidence from moments ago waning as she grasped the intricacy of their circumstances. "Do you believe they'll retaliate?" she asked.